Oops, I'm muted. Hi guys, how are you? How are you doing? Um, Apparently there's a new thing going on. Facebook has some new rules, you guys. Facebook got new rules and yeah, how you doing? Happy weekend. Happy Father's Day to all of you guys. All the men, the real men, who, the real men are in the building. So I am going to do my due diligence and, you know, let's see. I need to copy the link. You guys, happy Father's Day. What did you guys do? I hope you guys can come on here. Let's talk about daddies. All the dad in the building. All right, I'm lost in reading these comments. Yeah, it looks like I forgot to share the link. Oh my gosh, yeah. So sorry. So sorry. So when I initially, so Alright. You guys, apparently there are some few changes with Facebook that I wasn't aware of. And you know, um tonight we're just gonna honor our dads. But first I just wanna apologize to you guys. There was an impromptu emergency that happened with me and some news I got and I really couldn't function. So I did not want to come on here and just be blabbing to you guys last night. So um yeah, I had planned on coming on, right? And then all of a sudden, um, something else happened. So I decided I couldn't come on. So I didn't want to come here and not bully myself. So, yeah, happy Father's Day to all of our wonderful dads out there. Tonight's topic is I'm going to post it right now, but it's going to be a really short one, just to chit chat with you guys. That's why I came on live, but I'm still in a hump or lump, whatever you call it. I'm still in a lump, in a limbo. Uh, you guys. Okay, let's see what I have here. So I'm still in a lumpy lump. I have the link posted. You guys can go ahead and actually like it. Let me do my hair, you guys. What's up? So let's do our due diligence. As always, we come here and then the show's gonna start exactly at 9 o'clock. So let me do the banner really quick. Um, doo, doo, doo. What did you guys do for those dads today? Like all the wonderful dads in the world, what did you guys do for them? I do agree. I think dads are really underappreciated. If I'm not mistaken. I think dads are under or not appreciated as we honor mom. Yeah. I don't think we do a good job celebrating dads. So um, tonight we're gonna talk about. I was gonna talk about the prodigal dads. Of Proverbs. So I'm about to put up the topic. How are you guys doing? It's been a minute. I haven't been active this entire week. It's been crazy to say the least. So joining tonight, let's honor all of our dads. I'm one of those individual that believe I have so many dads. It's unfortunate. I never really met my biological father due to him passing on early. But I will promise you, I never missed a beat. I always have, people in my corner that I consider dad. And I'm going to actually tell you guys today who dads are. Who are dad? Like, you hear fathers, who are fathers? Because I have so much going on my page right now. I'm trying to share this live video, but oop, I gotta limit a lot of tagging now because I can't get to what I'm trying to say. So many tags. So this week I haven't really been active. Tonight I'm going to um you guys I am so I mm, the network is acting up. How you doing? We're chit chatting for now. I haven't even shared the show yet, so I'm still trying to get the banner up and my StreamYard is telling me some of the rules that Facebook have now. You guys, Facebook is not playing anymore. It looks like a lot of people are making a decent income out of this. So, you know, Facebook's making rules and it's affecting it. So tonight, I am going to be asking you guys a huge favor. I have my other page that I usually stream on. Um, you'll see me double on there, but just disregard. I'm trying to get something from my other phone. So I can expect on and get it going. But Facebook has new rules. We're gonna talk about this rule because it really does affect me, you know, um, as a incoming as an incoming content creator slash podcast host. Um, it's affecting me. And last night it was a total shock for me when I came on. I don't know. I'm gonna meet you guys. Oh, someone is here. I'm here talking by myself. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm trying to get this thing up so you see me double on here. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I am. I'm just. I'm annoyed because Facebook's changing their whole rules now. I don't know if everybody's aware.
Mhm.
Or when I came on StreamYard,
Mhm.
um, last night I was supposed to have a show, but I had to cancel it abruptly because I had an emergency that popped up, and I was like, oh man. But yeah, apparently there's this new rules
Mhm.
where you can't go live
On
if
Facebook?
yeah, you can't go live if you have a new page, like you just start a new page that is
Okay.
under 100 follow or friends.
Oh.
Yeah, so I didn't even read the whole thing because last night I got distracted. So I know the actual podcast page for this platform, it has, I think it has about 97 follow. So because of that, it's blocking me from streaming on there. So
Um,
so
wow.
now I'm about to be asking all of you guys to go follow on there so we can hit 100, so we can still stream on there. Oh my goodness. And then there are some other rules with it, but I didn't really get to read the whole thing. I guess when you start making more money on it, that's when I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't started making money yet, but I
Yeah.
guess it's an income generator. So, yeah, new rules. So, but how are you?
I'm doing good by the grace of God.
I know, right?
This is it. We are observing Father Day today around the world.
I know.
So,
It's a big day, but it seems so little around, like
yeah.
not many attention is given to it, which I think is not fair. Um, I
I think
think,
I think people give attention to it, especially those that have that kind of memories of Father. They are
right,
moved to do a lot of things about Father Day.
got you.
But those that get very bad memory of fathers, they don't care. So
True.
yeah,
True.
they don't care what is Father Day. They don't care.
Yeah, kind
Oh,
of sad.
lot to say
So,
that about that anyway.
yeah. So tonight we're talking about in honor of Father's Day. We're gonna be celebrating. We gotta honor all of our fathers, mentors, those who are standing in the gap for. It's not easy to, take on that role, in my opinion. I'm not a man, but being a woman, just thinking what women go through, I know it's not easy to be that stand up man and be
Mm.
a father and, neglect all and say, I'm going to do it for my children or for whoever you decide to mentor. So I'm just sharing the show
Yeah,
so that way we can get more people to come
sure.
to other platforms. So
Share
how?
share the link. I could share it as well.
Okay. I think the link is in the bio in the comment section. Um, I think you can just click on the show and then to the bottom it has an arrow and then you can share it. It should be done shortly. But as always, what was something amazing someone did for you this week? Or you did for somebody this week?
I'm not saying this. I don't know.
Um,
Okay, this is the link here.
yeah, it was just a few fancy and then it's a live stream. Mm, I'm sharing it to all the groups that I'm in. To see this up. I know it's late. So almost there. Almost there. Well, I'll go. So something amazing somebody did for me this week. So I was driving somewhere. I don't even remember where, but it was sometime during the week. One of those busy days. I'm just running around. Coming from work, gotta go pick up the kids, come back, go here. And it wasn't a big deal, but I think just somebody being considerate and you know. So I was at a gas station and for some reason, like I was using Apple Pay, you know, to pay for gas. And for some reason, like the internet wasn't working and the card that's connected to the Apple Pay, like
Mhm.
I didn't have it with me, and I didn't have my wallet with me, and I'm like, oh great, like I need gas.
I know, right?
And I'm looking at my car, I'm like, I don't think I can make it with this gas. Like, why do I always do this to myself? So I went inside to see if I can pay at the register with the Apple Pay, and still like it just keep turning, and then it was almost 5:30 when I needed to go pick up the kids. So I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm really like getting anxiety now. Like this thing needs to pay. So I went back to the car, checking all over to find the card, and I couldn't find it. And it looks like there was a guy like watching the whole thing. So I went back and I was like, there's money on this thing. Like, it's just not something. And I was like, this would be great if I memorize my part number, to just put it in. So the guy came in, like, and he paid for his. And, I stood behind him. He was about to leave and he passed by the door. And he came back in. He said, something's telling me, like, I should pay for your gas. And I was like, really? I was like, sir, $10 worth is fine. You don't have to pay for the whole thing. And he said, no, it's okay. I'll pay for it. And he filled my tank like
Wow.
$60. And then he told me, he said he was doing like the drive through difference. So I definitely need to call like the radio station tomorrow to let them know that somebody paid it forward to me as well. So there's this Christian radio channel that I listen to. They play contemporary Christian music, and there's this thing they call drive through difference where you can pay for somebody behind you if you're at a drive through, buying food. You can ask for whoever behind you and you pay for them. I did this before, but this was like 3 years ago. I haven't done it in a long time, but this was the first time somebody did it for me, you know? So when he said that, he said he was doing the drive through different. I was like, oh my goodness, do you listen to WGTF? And he said yes. And I said, oh my goodness, I can't wait on Monday to call them and let them know because it was on Friday when he did it. And I was just amazed that he actually filled the whole tank because all I needed was just $10 gas to get me to where I needed to go and then get my car and fill my car. But he said no. He because he saw me, he's like, I keep seeing you going back and forth. I don't want to do it. So
I think he really reawakened the memory of a father.
yeah, he really did. He really did. And it was an older guy, and he's like, try to not keep your tank dry again, okay?
I know. Yes.
That was so amazing. I don't know. Times are hard, and he filled my car tank. That was just so nice of him. And I really, really appreciated it. I felt like he was Jesus in that moment. So
Yes,
that was something amazing somebody did for me this
really, 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 really. That was so. It just
week.
remind me of. I can just categorize all women to be in a category like they don't
Yeah.
like to feel their thing.
Yes.
Sometimes it's say, hey, it's still plenty, man. It is still plenty.
We think we know how to calculate.
Why are you keeping your thing empty? Oh, plenty gas there, but yes.
Yeah, it's really bad. It was bad, but I'm so glad he was my angel. He was there to save me in that moment. I really needed it really bad because technology will fail you guys. It will fail you because I'm used to just tapping from my phone and just pay. And
Yeah.
this time it was like, nope, it's not working. I was like, great. But yeah, how about you? What was
So,
something amazing you did or somebody did for you today?
somebody
This
did,
past
yeah, it's somebody that I know. Also, I think, even though somebody will say it's their work, but I was like pissed up and I was like furious why I could see that. I went somewhere to a clinic.
Mhm.
I want to do like renew my driver license, and then I the registration asked me to go for medical paper or medical, checkup before I got the license.
Yeah.
So I went to this clinic, just a community clinic, visited. When I get there, the registrar told me, "Oh, you have to go to a walk-in clinic, not to this area." But before she said that, she asked me for my name. I gave my name, and after taking my name down, she asked me what you want, and I explained. She said, "Oh no, we don't do that here. Send me elsewhere." I went and did. I obtained my paper, went and got my license, and then this week, let me say last week, I saw a bill from that clinic, $400. I should
Oh
pay
my
400.
gosh.
I was like, "This is complete criminal." I
I
said a
know,
lot.
it's a rip off.
I was so much annoyed, and I was like, "So what am I going to do this?" And if I let me call, so I took a phone to call, thinking I'm going to talk a lot. I dialed the
Yeah.
number. The building receptionist received the number. I called my niece. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. You know why? Just write the people and tell them you are another person. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's totally a mistake from my part." I said, "Oh wow!" All the tension just came down.
I know.
Yeah, so I just feel that yes, um it was like letting you to know. Sometimes people will I mean, I will not respond to it, and if you don't, after a certain time, it just added to your bill, and you're forced to pay that. So
Right.
it was a movement of fun too. I just look at it, I say, "Well, why were you so vexed? You would have just taken phone, call them, and that would have been all to that." So
Uh,
yes, that was it this week. But besides that,
oh,
we celebrate our Father Day as well, and
nice.
it
That
was
was
nice in
nice.
the church.
It
Yes,
was like the calm to the storm, right? Like
yes, I tell
you're
you,
like, this is unnecessary money I have to pay now. Oh my God.
yeah, really, that was it.
Yeah. What I'm glad it all worked out. At least somebody was ready to calm all the tension.
Yeah,
At least you didn't pick up the fools, like going off. You
yeah,
were really
sure,
calm
sure.
about it. So it all worked out. That's great. Good, good,
Yeah.
good. All right. So tonight we're talking about honoring those very, very special men in our lives. It is 9 o'clock exactly, and we're about to start. Um, so yeah, let me look at the topic. I think I wrote it down. Oh, because this thing is going so fast. So it said the faithfulness of a father. Happy Father's Day. Who are fathers? Let's talk about it. So I saw this thing online about, the prodigal father, and it's trying to get me back on here. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. Oh, jeez. So let's start with you. You have kids?
Oh yes, I have
Oh,
kids.
nice.
Yes.
So even if you didn't have kids, I feel like if even your brother or like an
Yeah.
uncle, you play
Mm-hmm.
a key role in, everybody's lives. So let's start with you. Happy Father's Day to you. I hope your day was special.
So true.
Um, so
So true.
what did they do for you today?
Well, that today was I was in the church and we just when they actually my kids are not here with me. They are in Africa. But where I live, we have a very nice memory today. You
Nice.
see the kids come around, Uncle Happy Father Day,
Oh,
and that was so awesome.
nice.
And
That's sweet.
yeah, prepared the big bread, and it was nice this morning before going to church. Serve us, you guys are special today, and that was
Oh,
it. So yeah, so we went to church and we have a nice conversation. There were packages given to people, fathers to take home and relax and enjoy their meal. So yeah, so we really enjoyed the Father Days today. It was so awesome.
nice.
Yeah,
That's good.
and
Well, awesome.
getting all messages from all over. Happy
I
Father's
know.
Day, Uncle. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Happy Father's Day. So it was so. Something to do, something to see, and something to enjoy today.
Yeah, one of those special days, right?
Yeah,
Where men are not getting screamed at that they made a mistake.
yeah, and sure. And I myself remember people in my life as well, and
Right.
I was saying, wow, I wish those people, some of them were alive at this time,
Yeah.
because I can remember um, one woman who used to really never separate children. He will always put us together and give us pieces of advice. He had a lot of children, and my dad was not around, but he would like put everybody together, give them
Yeah.
some mentoring. He would give them some pieces of advice, and so he built me up a lot, and I remember in that special way as well. And so he's late now, but I always say that I communicate with people. I say yes, Omen Jacob did well. Yes, he did it for his children, but I was right around there and took everybody like his children.
Nice.
My dad was an awesome man, but he was much older when I began to know myself. So that bond was not really there. But he meant well for us. The little time I got to know him, his advice was always you got to go to school, make sure you achieve a standard in life. That would be the only way you got to succeed. And that was his word. And every money he gets, he would not want you to sit home, go to school. That would be his word. The little
Nice.
time I get to know him. And some uncles did extremely well. In fact, when I was like in Liberia doing some work, I remember my uncle who told me, you have to do something in your home. Like you have to go to the soil, plant some, um, get into agriculture products. And he managed my resources. He did extremely well. So I gave it to him as well. And today, what he did, the entire family is benefiting from that. So, like he planned a palm farm, palm plantation. I never had money, but the little I was giving him, he was doing much more out of that money. When I went and visited the farm, I said, Uncle, are you sure? Is it what I used to give you? He said, but what you used to give me is what I did. I never believe it.
Um,
until up to now. I left the place when they sent me some video how how my people, how the family, the community benefiting from that plantation. I said, wow, you have some fathers, people who will say
yeah,
yes. I got to help my people because that's not for me. I'm not getting the money, but the intention was the community, the family should have something to do so they can be able to get resources and stuff like that. But he did what he did. So yeah, these are people who did extremely well. Some friends we cannot name all. Some friends
yeah,
stand by
their
you,
father.
even without giving you resources, words of encouragement.
Yeah,
Yes, it really teach you and get to know that yes, at least these are fathers. They get the characteristics of a father. We give it to everybody there.
yeah.
Why other people are there give leaving some worse impact of memory. Friends will do some things that when you think of them, you would
Yeah,
never think say, well, to be friendly with people is better. But overall, the majority can be good. So if you
I
think
agree.
worse, you cannot make it. Yeah. So yes. So that glued into the mind, the understanding that yes, fathers are in categories. Fathers are in categories. Those that are parenting, those that I consider as dad, and those that get the title as father.
Right,
So
right.
these things, people will say, but dad is the same as father. Yes, but there are little things that differ them. So yes, I gotta know that you can be a father, but you cannot be a dad, and you can
Hmm.
be a dad, not necessarily being a father. These are
I
awesome.
would like you to tell us a little bit more about that tonight because I think that's something that um, a lot of people don't know,
Hmm.
and especially with the negative, outlook of what Black parenting looks like
Yeah,
in the 21st century. That's something that I think is worth, talking about. Like,
yeah.
what's the difference between a father and a dad? Like,
Mhm.
what's that? What does that look like? But before we jump into that, I just want to shout out most of the people in my life as well.
Yeah,
I didn't really grow up. I didn't really see my dad because I was a baby and he passed on. And but I would say, things kind of worked out for the good in every situation because as much as I didn't really see my dad, I feel like I don't really miss that, because I had
hmm,
people who stood in a gap for me and who wanted the best for me as well, and who have really, I feel like they sacrificed their life for me to be where I am today. So I'm really, really grateful for um, the young lady that I've become because of those men, in my life. When you're growing up, you don't really see a lot of things and you don't see the good of it. And you're like, oh man, they're always on my case, they're always, they're me and this and this. But I definitely own, my oldest brother,
yeah,
who we call Reverend, say Pensy. I really give a lot to him because I feel like he, as young as he was, when I sit and think about all the young men these days that
yeah.
always think about themselves, they have siblings, they don't want to do anything for them. When
Hmm.
I really think about how he had to sacrifice his, like childhood, he could have said, like, I don't care. I'm young. I need to figure out my own life out as well. But just the thought, God to really like lead him to say, no, I'm going to be the father figure for my siblings. And he did it the best way that he could, that he knew how to, especially us not having our dad to really guide us through as older. If I'm not mistaken, he was like 17 years old and had to like be the father. So I really give him a lot of credit for, like really being, not living his youth, but like being a father, trying to fend for us during the war and things like that. So I really want to say thank you. Every day I'm really grateful that he was able to, set those really high standards for us as girls to be like, you guys are women, you can't carry yourself this way. Sometimes I think he was over the top with it, but I think I
Yeah.
think he did the best he could. And now, like that, I'm older, and I have kids. I really see the good in it. How he did it his way. And man, when I see other people who have their siblings that are not there, and I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful. My life probably would have been different if he didn't take those stands and those steps. So I want to say happy Father's Days to him. um like he did a really good job and he's
Yeah.
still doing a good job, so I'm really grateful that I have him in my corner to call him, older brother slash dad. He hates me
I
calling
know.
him dad, but he's like, come
Yes.
on,
Yes.
just call me big brother.
I think
But
he's really the dad. He may not be the father, but
yeah,
he's the
he
dad.
is. You know, he's the oldest brothers too. So I think God really made him to be that person, to be the first, male in the family for a reason. So I want to give him his flower while I can. So
Sure.
thanks to him. And then I just want to say shout out to all of the dads, that work along with him to mold each and every one of us. Um, our other brothers, cousins, everybody else played their role as well, brother-in-law and everything. So just want to say thank you to each and every one of them. And the last but not the least, to my husband, just want to say thank you for holding the family together. I know sometimes I can be crazy and I'd be like, no, you didn't do it the right way, do it this way, change the kids this way, but nothing he does goes unnoticed. Really, really appreciate all he puts in with the kids. I probably wouldn't have picked anybody else in the world to have children with. I think um, he's really there and supportive with the kids. So just want to say thank you, and I appreciate him. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers around the world who's watching, all the
Um,
men on this platform. Want to say shout out to you in every possible way. You guys have really taught me a lot over the past few months of doing this podcast. I want to say thank you. Just a little you share here. I know you do a lot of great things for your kids and your family. So want to say happy Father's Day to you. With that being said, what is the faithfulness of a father? Like, what does that look like? Faithfulness. Who are fathers? I forgot. Maybe I should have asked who are dads. But who are fathers? Like, what does that look like? What were God intended purpose of a father? Like I feel like a lot of men don't understand it these days. A few of them do, and we appreciate them. We appreciate all of them. But what is the role of that? Are you able to enlighten us on that?
yeah. We can look at it. Yeah, we can look at it like this. Fathers, let's be able to know the difference, or let's know who are fathers. Fathers
Yeah.
are the fathers, or a father is a male parent and have a biological connection with the
Mhm.
child. Uh, that's the father to father a child. A male that has a biological, you know, connection with a child. They share a biological relationship, and so we can just say a father is is that person, but the characteristic of a father, they are enormous. To quickly look at maybe a few, a father have a, a loving, caring, and patient minded
Yeah.
person. You have the three characteristics are major, are key: loving, caring, and patient. You're a patient minded person, and you care for your family. And so he teaches children about, let's say, if you can say Christian father or maybe a father in general, but a
Yeah.
father in general must be able to, teach the children about what their futures are like. You are like a mentor to your children.
Yeah.
A father will really discipline his child or his children, and because discipline at time, it seems to be bad, to look bad, but the result is always it produce righteousness. So a father will always find interest in making sure the child is disciplined. A father, like we said, will always lead as an example.
Right.
You'll be able to follow the principle of the Bible. I know that more followers to this show always have that intention. Let's say the purpose of the show is always the Christian background
Yeah.
and the moral upbringing of your kids. So,
Yes.
if you are a Christian father, we can say if you love God and exhibit that in a Christian home, you bring all your children the right way because the children will definitely follow you. Uh, if you have a self control,
Yeah.
uh, patience, self control, you are not just quick to jump on something, jump to something and do something that is not good of a father, of a parent. That child, your children will follow you. Leadership, exhibit leadership ability in a home, that you will be able to lead your family, be able to guide your children, set as time and be able to speak to your children, tell them what are life lesson that you pass through, that you think your son, your children may go through that. A dad or father will be able to sit with their children, tell them what life has as they are coming in. So, as well as patient, providing for the family, loving your wife, or above all, you have to love your wife as a father. And by you doing that, you are teaching your children the house of God in the home, letting them know the importance of loving their wife, and letting your guys' children to know the importance of respecting their husbands and
Yeah.
loving their spouse. So indeed, integrity top the line. A father, your children, you are a first-hand person that provide that mentorship for your children. So integrity plays major role in the life of a father, because if your son know that you came from out and lying to his mother, that boy is going to directly practice after you. If your children get to know that you are always cheating other people, you cheating other people for your own good, and they always know that you are not a strict person, then you are teaching your children back. So the father has a lot to that. And to just summarize, I just want to say, like I said, being a father and being a dad. So a father is the person that share uh, biological trait with that child, but
Mhm.
it's a legal, it's somehow a legal, you can be the legally connected to that child through adoption, something like that. But a dad is much more a, a close proximity to that child,
Right.
experience the closeness. So a dad will be that kind of person that often applies a close proximity to that child, more personal relationship with with that child, highlighting the moral, bond with that person. I mean, we are not talking this time with dad, we're not talking about the biological bond with that person, but the
Right.
moral bond with that person. That is important. The moral bond with that child. The support. A dad will offer that support.
Mm-hmm.
It can be sometimes difficult to see that happening much in the life of a father. A father will have a child and maybe gone away. But if this person is a dad, somebody can be a dad and a father. And as well, a father can be a dad. But you cannot say because you are a father, you're automatically a dad. You must possess the characteristic of that dad. That bond, caring, and nurturing aspect of a parent who is what create that dad, the relationship of a dad. Okay? So you can be a father and say, who is your father? My father is Peter. Where is Peter? I'm not saying him since I was born. Yes,
Right.
Peter is your father. But where's your dad? My dad is John. Where is John? John is home. John always take me to school. John provide my need. John, does this, does that. So that is the aspect. This is why you have a spiritual father. They
Yeah.
raising, they teach you, give you all of the comfort. And women that are victim to that of you see that of parenting father, take the children to the worship center. You see, God is there, and then in the churches, in the mosques and other worship area, you see the pastor, the bishop, and all these people giving that kind of a spiritual blessing to them. So yeah, so that can be that kind of a person that is giving that parental care and closeness, love, care, patience, and everything. But the father is the person who had that biological, connection with that child and cannot necessarily, parent that person, that child. So yes, these are the few things that we can know about father. There are lots. I know a lot of men know about their own responsibility. We cannot just say that this is what you have to do, but they know it very well. But these tips are something that are very, very much, key to being a
Yeah.
father.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I just wanted to add a little bit. I think you said everything already. Um, I was looking through some stuff online and it said a dad is there for his child as a persistent, loving force in their lives, while a father just refers to anyone who has a child, like they contribute to,
Yeah.
you know, let me just say it word for word because I think this is funny. It said a father is also a legal term in a
Hmm.
child support or paternity case. Like your response, the father is whichever male contributed to the
Hmm.
birth of a child. So I guess, it's someone who contributed. So when we look at like the faithfulness of a father, there's something that I was just reading through where you look at God being like the ultimate faithful father, right? I'm not sure. Um, I don't know if I have really seen any father that could even come close to how God, like his faithfulness is to his children. You hear some I've heard people saying like I would disown my kids if they're this. I would disown my kids, but I don't know. I've never read anywhere where, in the Bible where God had ever said he would disown any of us. Like maybe there is, but I've never seen where God, because if you look closely where we talk about God being like the ultimate um faithful father for men. Like if you look at when Adam and Eve like fell, right? That was like the ultimate sin where the father of all nation of the entire, universe was supposed to literally just destroy and be done and could create another one, right?
Yeah.
But instead, he gave us like he actually found us clothing, he clothed us, like he tried to protect every bit of you, even though you have fallen short. But then that's where I'm looking at is like, can a father really be like a earthly father really be that faithful to his children? That's something that I was like, I wonder if people really do think about, that like the ultimate sin happened. And then also when you look at, this is just few notes like I kind of jotted down. When you look at when David committed adultery, right? And um it's like God forgive him, like he was the man to, preach the gospel and thing, but he fell, like he committed adultery, and we saw um where God clothed, and took care of that, and God was there, and taking care of everything. So it's like God was like the forgiving, the most ultimate faithful father of all mankind, even though he's not a man, right? So
Hmm.
I'm just thinking about it like, what are those things that men will say that they are faithful to their children, or to their leadership role that God had actually intended them to be? What is the ultimate faithfulness of them? That's what I think a father role is. You should be the ultimate. You should be faithful not only when it's pleasant or when it's not.
Oh
You-
yes. So yeah, I think I understand totally where you come from. Um, men, let's say, man was created in the likeness of God. With that, it says it has the semblance, the resemblance of God's traits. Man itself, what man does is synonymous to the all over thing God will always, you know, have to do to us. God created the world. We all know the story that when he got through with creation, he got to know that the world was not complete, and he
yeah,
tended to create men. And the sole intention for that is for men to be the manager for the universe. That is, God has given a specific task that he envisaged would have been best done by men, not him. It does not mean that God could not do anything further when he made man, but it's like there's a task that men supposed to perform. And he himself said it that when the world was created, he was not satisfied. But he made man in his own image and likeness. And that is the point that when we talk about faithfulness for men to be like God, it's not possible. We know that.
right.
It's never possible. But God knows that with all the weaknesses that men will share, there are role for them to perform a task. There are role for them to play. So the act of men taking care of home or taking care of family, it cannot be compared to that of what God does to his people. But it is the instruction that God wants you to perform certain tasks and get your home straightened up. That is why, uh, among many other things, he outlined with references what is the duty of a Christian father and what can you do as a father to bring smile in the home, to prepare your children for future, to do a lot. like I started listing some of those things. That's
Yeah.
the reason. And God gave these things. These things that we're listing, they are all backed by scripture. And the point you talk about, that faithfulness, the faithfulness can be found when God instructed men as a Christian father to live above reproach and be blameless. So being blameless is almost like be faithful, be holy. Who can be blameless? It's difficult. But God thinks you can strive towards that by living a life and fearing God and what have you. So indeed, men cannot be as faithful as God, cannot be directly like God, but men have a role to play.
Yeah.
And so it will say get integrity, live in an integral life so that your family, your children can come up good. And the key thing, God also talk about discipline. So these are the responsibility of a father. As a
Right.
guidance to your children, you must be able to discipline. So if you cannot discipline your children, it means you are paving the road for them to be, ruthless, to be people who do not respect any other people, who just do whatever they think they can do. So discipline, and I said discipline from the beginning, discipline can be very tough, difficult to accept, but
Yeah.
the fruit is always a blessing. So yes, so men can do that.
So let's look like I'm glad you brought up discipline, right? So looking at like the Western world, right? Where we live and we're all like I I think it's safe to say we're all walking on eggshells trying to figure out can I discipline, when where the Bible say I remember growing up hearing this a lot, spare the rod and spoil the child, you know, like just walking around and things like that. So, what do you think? Like the modern father. I know Roberta Sister always says I do this modern thing. I think it's the safe way to say it to differentiate between our parents from back then and then our parents now. But do you think people like even the ideal Christian father or like the idea Christian home in the Western world, do you think are really following like the biblical way of, or do they even understand
Great.
what the discipline looks like, as a father and what children are, of that home? Because I would say I don't think they really do understand it, I don't think they even take the time to understand what does that look like and how do I gain understanding to do that.
So, and so
Yeah.
it was good you just touched that. I can say we don't understand what really it means
Yeah.
discipline in the Western world.
Yeah.
I can say, in fact, I can say as a whole, discipline as a whole.
Yeah.
If we are fortunate to sit on the teaching of some men of God, some well, trained men of God, to explain what it means to discipline your child or
Yeah.
discipline somebody, you will understand that everything is about love, care, and patience with that person.
Yeah.
Having that kind of a compassionate heart to take that person on. So our children in the Western world, people when I before coming around here, people say, "Oh, you can discipline your child. When you discipline your child, you can, the people police will come and arrest you, and all sorts of things." So I was like, wow. So then how? So do we have real better people there? When I think about what the Bible says, do not spare the rod against a child. You know, these things I just. But when I get here, start to understand the system. I got to know that discipline is much needed here.
Yeah.
And if you really understand, if your child or your children coming up, where you start the discipline is where the child does not know anything. That's where the guardians come. But if you that, and if every child for that, for like if you got baby sucking, you can see the child will point his mother, and then the mother say, "Oh, just don't do anything about it,
Or laugh about it.
or laugh about, oh, what are you doing? Just leave it." That child
Yeah.
will continue to do that, continue to do that, continue to do that. But when the child does that and you knock that child, don't do that. That baby as it is, try again, you do the same thing. We know that what they try to do is not good.
I agree.
A child will come near you and pinch you up. And then you just say, "What are you doing?" So stop it, man. You laugh with it. One of my uncles said, if a child pinch you, pinch the child. The child got to know.
No, come on.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
The child got to know that yes, what I did, I see how the person felt. But the idea, what I'm just saying, the idea there is a child does that. If you chastise the child, talk to the child. Look, you don't do that.
Right.
The child got to know that yes, what I did is not right.
Right.
But if you leave these things and just let it go, and anytime they do that, you just talk it, laugh with it, and leave it. Now the child reached a certain stage, and you want the child to change. That's the
Right.
time they tell you if you go home, the mommy beat you, just take the phone and call. Take the phone and call
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
So
I
indeed,
agree with you.
we don't understand. If we understand that we can start training our children from the grass from down there, that the child is not going to school, the child is just coming up, child will tell you, I want to eat, child will tell you, I want to drink. At that stage, the child is still there. The way you bring that child up, the child will
Yeah.
understand that yes, this is not good and this is good. If you
Right.
don't do that, you will start to blame people. Oh, they their country, they can't discipline people. That's lie. So then
Yeah.
what happened to the other people, the children?
Yeah.
So
So,
that's
so with you saying that, right? I just thought about something. And I absolutely agree with you because I have a 1 year old, right?
mhm,
And she is very bright. Like, I think she knows a lot of things that I didn't think like she should know at her age. But one thing I learned from my doctor when I first had my son, because I didn't really know a lot of things. I knew like I helped took care of my nieces, but I wasn't really there like the one raising them. So I was just in and out. I could help them change the diaper, hold in. So when I had my son, I was really trying to figure out. I remember I cried when I find out I was having a boy because all the horror things you hear about the Western world, what's gonna happen to boys, black boys and things like that. So my judgment just started. I just started crying, and then my husband was like, "Aren't you a Christian? Like, what are you crying about? Just God's gonna show us how to raise him, right?"
mhm,
So I remember when he reached 6 months and he needed to start eating, like we're gonna try him with solids. And I remember the pediatrician telling me was because I was told, no, don't you can't give them African food, their stomach, and I'm like, what? So when I went to the pediatrician for his checkup, I remember she sat me down, and this was a Caucasian lady. She
mhm.
said, people don't understand the best way for you to start treating your kids is for you to start setting routine. They
Yeah,
don't know anything.
right.
They don't
Exactly.
know any stuff. So you got to set routine and set structure, and you need to stick with it, because once they get used to it, become a habit, and then they
Right.
start to follow along with it.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, so do I make food for him separate from everybody else? She said, no. Whatever you're eating, just don't give him like heavy, like spicy stuff. Whatever you're eating is good for you to try with them so they eat with you. And then that way they learn the food of the home.
Right.
instead of you. She's like, it's gonna become a lot for you to be making separate food for him and this and that, like
Call him
whatever.
McDonald's. Call
Yeah,
McDonald's.
my son still, you know. So when I came back and I told my husband, he said, "Yeah, but I told you we'll be fine." And my kids eat that, but I say this because my daughter, on the other hand, she's absolutely different from. We didn't even have to try anything. She just want to eat it, but she tests the water. She will
Right.
test to see like whatever she's doing. I think she knows is wrong, but she talks. She's very verbal and she can really speak.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll be like, when you ask her, "Do you want milk?" She'll tell you, "No, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
milk."
Mm-hmm.
And then when you say, "Okay, do you want to drink some water?" and she said no.
Mm-hmm.
So then her pediatrician said, "Why are you asking her what she
Mm-hmm.
wants? You
She
gotta
doesn't
give
know.
her what you want her to have instead of you asking her, because you have to know, like, she's different from the boy. She's talking, so she's once you start giving her options, now she knows that she has options.
Mm-hmm.
But you are the parent, so you're supposed to tell her, no, this is what it is, this is what you're having, and this is what we're having. That's it. You can't ask for anything else. Whatever we're eating, that's what you're eating. But I feel like a lot of homes, like, there are two different rules. Mom has the rules, dad has the rules, and it's not
Right there.
working together,
Right
you
there.
know? Right. So my question was, why, with that being said, with the two separate rules, right? Why is it that the kids are more afraid of the dad than the mom? Like, I always thought about that. Whenever they're doing something, they're like, "Dad's coming." They're like rushing to sit. Even when I was younger, that was the thing. When mom's around, my brother's about to come, everybody's straightening up. Do you is it just because there's that authority that God had already put there, or is it, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think you just touched it. I was like just
Yeah.
knowing that God has placed the authority there. Like I said from the beginning,
Okay. Yeah.
God had placed that managerial authority to the men.
Okay.
And God has said women are helpmate. I don't care who you are. You are the queen, you are the president of any other country, you're still
Yeah.
a helpmate.
Yeah.
So the authority is there, and it's already with men. When they
Mm-hmm.
appear anywhere, the children
Right.
know that yes, my dad is here, my father is here. The
Correct.
next thing also, you can have this. If the child is much more uh, or frequently interacting with certain person, especially a child, that that kind of fear, it drives away. That fear drives away. Once you have a child, that because the child is always with the mother, where the child and the mother always interacting, so that fear, I mean, it just go away just like that. But the
Yeah.
dad is occasionally, coming, and the child feel that he will definitely disagree with my mom. If my mom tell me do this thing, or if I want this, my mom say yes, you can have it. Dad may disagree with mom, or certain thing I may go free with my
Yeah.
mom. My dad will not take that. So that fear is, I mean, because it's the child does not know really what is coming out of the dad. The movement you start to do something, so it can create as fear. In fact, we the adults, if you are like maybe working in some area, you have your boss
Yeah.
and you have your supervisor. The relationship you have with your supervisor at job site, there will be certain thing you may be doing. You know that you are wrong, and
Yeah.
you are not to do that. But because the supervisor is there, and the supervisor is coming around, you have that
Mm-hmm.
kind of a less attention to take that, a quick serious caution. But if your boss enter your work facility, you know
Yeah.
how you quickly, start to do some other things, put things into place, and something like that. So that authority is there, and also, you know, closeness, proximity, and continuum affiliation, drive that kind of fear away. So that is
Yeah.
set with the. It's not more about like the rules are different. Rules being different is just out of mistake and
Right.
out of ignorance. You have a home, and
Mhm.
you, the man and the woman, you don't understand your role. Definitely the woman will define your role for you.
Right.
And so now you get furious, and you say, no, you are a woman, why will you define? This is what I want. If you don't want it, I mean, that's it. And the woman say, okay, you know what, I don't think that, no sense in that, so this is what I go with. So definitely you guys are divided. The woman have her own
Right.
set rules, and you get your own set rule. And tell me, which of these rules the child will go by? More likely the child will take the mother's side, because the
Right.
child is with the mother every day. So both of you will begin to confuse the child. The child don't know which one is the best. But if you have a set rule for the home, the wife is comfortable with that, understand that, and you understand that. In your absence, your wife will interpret that to the child. In
Right.
your present, that would be. So when you get home and the child is doing this, you know that it is in your own rule. You are not going to like frown at the child, you are not going to beat on the child, you are not going to harass the child with words and what have you. So the child get comfortable with you. When you come in, the child is running to you, happily running to you. Because why? The child knows I'm not in error. Whatever I'm doing here is okay. Dad come, dad praise me up, dad, I mean, praise me, dad laugh with me, and everything is okay. But when the dad gets home and say, hey, you, what are you doing? Stupid, eh? Then go this way. So
Right.
when you say pok pok pok, or you open the door, the child, you will see the child running out. So indeed, that is just about ignorant and bringing out different rules in the home. You get different rules, and your husband get different rules, and you confuse your child. At the final analysis, you see maybe a God is not with you, the child in a different area.
Thank you. So I don't know why the comment is not populating in StreamYard, but Andrew's not feeling too well. That's why he didn't join us tonight. He said Happy
Mhm,
Father's Day to everybody. I hope he feels much better.
mhm,
Um, so I was going to say, right? So I know we started talking about discipline and stuff, but going to the Father's Day, honoring those dads, right?
mhm.
So what about those father that wish to be a dad, but circumstances have, I know we talked about the differences between a father and a dad. It takes somebody very special to be a dad, like to be there changing diapers, showing them how to ride a bike, all of those nice stuff that, men figures do, or even the actual fathers do, you know. Oop, I just saw a mosquito. That came here. But I was just going to say, like, how how can those men that their number one dreams were to be the best father and dad in their kids' life, but because of circumstances like, maybe a divorce have, taken them away from that, that role that they want to play and leave that legacy. Because the Bible does talk about, how children are the heritage of their father, right?
Yep.
So if someone who's watching, like they're having that difficult time and they can't really play that fatherly slash dad role in their kids' life. They're just there, just maybe they're financially contributing, but they want to do more and they don't know how to do that. And today they just feel like they're just a father, but they can't play that daddy's role. how do you encourage them? Like, do you have any advice for them how they can go ahead and start, like trying to fulfill that side of that? Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I know it's a tough one, right?
yeah. There's it's much. I think it's much easier.
Okay,
It's not
okay,
tough. I don't think it's tough.
it's not tough.
Look,
Good.
there are many reasons for which people get separated, divorced, and
Yeah,
you find yourself paying child support or children's support in one homes, two homes, three homes, four homes. So the first thing we want to know, that we want to establish is there were reason that get you
right,
separated, that get you into the problem you are in today. The first thing you do is start to solve that problem. The issue should not be how you want to just go quickly to see your children. The issue should be the root cause. Solve the root cause. For example, Peterson and this lady were moving, and then they have a child, and for one reason, maybe Peterson saw another lady getting the life of that lady, and the first lady that have child by Peterson say, "Oh, you know what? I don't think I can take that. You gotta go on your own. I go on my own." And right there, Peterson become to support that child. Some could be Peterson is in a relationship with this person, have a child, but out of sudden, Peterson, begin to renege on his responsibility.
right,
Instead of you understanding that the lady should be helpmate, you now make her to be breadwinner of the family. And so you are never serious with what you're supposed to do to contribute to the home. And after certain time, the lady saw that to be so much for her and turn her back. Or it could happen either way. A woman may decide not to be a helpmate, but be the rooster and inflamed with a lot of things that will get you to the extent and come up with divorce. So the idea, what you can do, the best thing you can do, work at what separated you guys. It
right,
is not necessarily to go back together, but
right,
it is important to set the relationship right. If this lady that was bitter with you, if this guy that was bitter with you, reconcile and get things settled up, understand that you sincerely contributing to this family. When everything is over, the next discussion is going to be how you can have family reunion, even if that person is married to different family, but you get child in the home. That person, I don't know, no matter how difficult for that situation to be handled, that is the easier beginning. Settle your differences before. That settlement is the first before you talk
right,
about getting to the child. When that is settled up, getting to your child is easy. You can get, if you have no problem with Anna. I mean, you
right.
speak to Anna, often call Anna. Anna, her husband is happy with you. Anna is happy with you. The next time you're going to call, you're going to be surprised to hear Anna say, "Hey, you can speak to your dad," because the bitterness have been taken away. But if you cannot solve that problem, and you feel you are giving $250, $300, $600 every month, and so it's your entitlement to speak to that child. You call Anna. Anna say, "You know what? I'm busy. Okay,
Right,
I'm busy. I'm busy. Thank you. Bye bye." So yes, you got your right to you pay that money to Anna, but Anna has her own right. So
right,
the first thing, settle the problem between you and Anna, and then you will have this easier means to speak to your children, to speak to your child, to be able to have some conversation with your children, and even will be able to take your children home, have some weekends, have some time together. Things gonna be okay. From my own understanding, honestly, deal with the situation, and you will have a means to reunion your family.
Awesome. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for that. That was good. So I'm also thinking about those who don't really have the relationship with their fathers, right? Like
Mhm.
adult children who might just, say, I don't celebrate Father's Day. I don't care, I don't think um highly of my dad, um or they're just like we don't have the best relationship. So I'm grown now and I don't want anything to do with him. You know, I don't know. I just feel like if I was that individual, I don't think I can just say I don't want to have anything to do with my dad. But, there are people who's going through that and, you know, they have their reasons and some fathers really hurt, some children and those wounds are there. And their adult children. I think, do you think the father should be the one taking the initiative to start to repair or rebuild that relationship that is not there between them and their child? Or do you think it's the child's responsibility to try to, rebuild that relationship? And some people never ever had that relationship with their father, but now they're adults and they're thinking about building their life. But that's a piece of your life that I feel like if it's not mended, I don't know how you could be the best parent to your children. So what would you say to this individual that are like going through that and they're like, yeah, I don't want to watch this show because they're talking about Father's Day, but they're just kind of hooked to it for now and they're like, okay, let me listen to see what they're talking about. Like, what message can you give to those individuals that are going through that?
So the first thing about father,
Mhm.
if you understand the word father, is inseparable. Biologically, it's inseparable. This is why, just to bring this example, this is why you will see some women who find themselves in between two men, and and these two men are like arguing over the pregnancy or the child. One is claiming this is my child, the other one is claiming this is my child. There are reasons why introduce DNA to know the father of that child. That's the first thing any child or any person who is going through that scenario you gave will understand. Why will people always want to do the DNA to know the true or the biological parent, biological father of this child?
Yeah.
You are the offspring of that person. And the Bible says you are the heritage of your father. So, so without parenting you, without you know that relationship, a daddy and a daughter relationship, or a daddy and a son relationship, without any of them, in as much as you are born onto that family, you have that bond. That's the first thing. Secondly, God had decreed that from the beginning of the creation, that only single man was the history of every creation. We're speaking from the Bible perspective.
Yeah.
And so when somebody does wrong, always that person will be shy to come around. Shame will catch that person, and the person will not want to show face. If you see people giving how you call it, excuses. Oh, what? Why you don't want to see your children? You know the children, they are rude. The children like they, I don't even want to go there. In fact, their mother don't like me. If you deeper, that man is at fault
Right.
and is cut down with that kind of a shame and looking for means to get somebody to rescue him. It's one of the reasons. You see that, I mean,
Yeah.
obvious, it's one of the reasons. If you see the lady having much more excuses of even speaking to her own children, if you deeper, that lady might have been, might have not been a good mother. And so the man was like playing the fatherly and the motherly role. That's the reason she's caught up with shame and she does not want to come around. So, so you understand these things, to solve these things, it's not one-sided. You cannot only say it is the father responsibility to do that, or it is the daughter or a son responsibility to do that. In as much as you have come to the knowledge that there was reason for which your father did this and did that, you have understood that, it's better to take a step that you're going to see what is going to be the outcome. There is no excuse that is substantial enough to deny your biological parent. The person who was not there to father you, you were placed in another person's care. There was a daddy. A daddy began to care for you. A
Right.
daddy was in the life of your mother, began to care for you, did everything for you. That man did not tell you, say, when you see your father, don't speak to him. No. The man knows very well, yes, I'm doing all of these things, but this child have a father. That's why you need to know.
Mm.
The man who is in and doing everything, you say, you know why, I don't know that man. That man did not do anything, and he's a useless man, and all sorts of adjectives. Know that the man that is your current daddy knows very well, yes, this child, in as much as I'm doing this, he or she has a father. So the
Yeah.
person will never tell you, say, don't speak to your father. So I
Some
can tell,
in our community, people do that though, you
yeah,
know.
the men will never tell you that. More often it will be
Yeah.
the mother.
It's the woman. Yeah.
More often it will be the mother that will be so bitter and say, look,
Yeah.
I don't want any of you of my children to go near that man because that man is bad. That man is like this, that man is like that. But a man that is in the house knows very, very well that that child has a father. He will
Yeah.
not. It will be, I mean, out of 100, you may get one or two, but very difficult for the mind to tell you not to speak to your biological father or biological parent. A man would not say that. If
Right.
a
I
man,
agree.
if a man wants to really, get your heart, a man will go to the extent of doing everything possible that you will really, really fall in love to know that he is your true father. But he would not tell you, don't speak to your daddy, don't speak to your father. So you should
Right.
know that the reason it's just common is because you get you have that you are the offspring of that person. There is no way that they can separate you people. Biologically, you have that bond. That is it. Even if
Okay.
it does not work for you to speak to that person, know that had it not been for that person, you would have seen the surface of the earth. No. So that's a relationship that is there. And so it is not one person's business to say it is the father to go and show him, or it is the mother or daughter, but it is everybody's business.
Right.
In our tradition, you see women, girls coming up, uh, some of them will be with their mother and don't know their parent. Will
Mm.
not know their parent, will not know their fathers, or their father's side. But when they're ready to marry that girl, even you are never seeing your father, the men people will say, we want to see your father. The
Yeah.
people will not tell you, say, we want to see your man husband. They will say, we want to see your father. You
Yeah.
know what now they will be doing? You are not seeing your father, but you will start go look for your father. So
Yeah.
why is that happening? It is because our tradition knows very well that it is the father that can give the child in marriage. It's not in the Western world. So indeed, there is place that your father can fit, and there is
Yeah.
place that your dad fit the best, and your father does not even come, will not even come near there. But still, you get that, you are the offspring. So yes, indeed, it is everybody's business. The child, the mother, the father, they have to make every effort, every frantic effort to make sure that things are settled up, things are better with them, and get your family going. It does not negate the fact that your dad, you're going to take care of him, you're going to give all of the support, everything that he has done for you, you're going to pay him back, good, and whatever it is. It does not negate the fact you're going to do that. But what remains, the right thing to do is also know that yes, your father is there, and I mean, you came, maybe you grew up from the mother side, and the mother has said a lot to you. You are not heard about your father. You are not heard your father's side.
Yeah.
You are
Women are very fond of that.
So why will you now say, "Oh, my father he not like my mom. My father was a drunk. My father was like this." Have you listened to your father? Have your mom told you what she did too? What she did as well? Because everyone has their own part to play. So
Right.
indeed, that is everybody's problem. I think that's my own understanding.
I agree. I agree. That's a goat. That wow, that's nice. But you're absolutely right though. Women, we are very dangerous. We are full. I think we build and destroy life,
Sure. Very.
and we got to be really, really careful what we say, to kids and stuff like that. Because some kids grow up and with that grudge and not really trying to have their own mind and understanding. So it's really, really sad. But I know we've talked a lot about, the differences between dads and, and father and whoever is watching. If you have anything to add, you guys, we have the link in the comment section. We will soon be closing. But just for fun, I just wanted us to talk about those fun things that you did with your dads or your dad's figure. What are some of those good memories that you remember when you were growing up?
Yeah. So, like I said, I actually grew up with my maternal grandfather. So so he everything about him was
Mhm.
much more farming, much more going on the farm, go set trap, go
Nice.
hunt. Everything was that. So my the best memory of me is I will always say sometimes say yes, I can remember when my grandfather used to tell me, "Hey, look, go, see the trap, go see if you are you are collected some animal," and and like that. But when the few time I got to know my dad, and I got to really spend time with him, I got to know his idea was completely different. I got to take something from him. Like I said, he would never encourage me to go on a farm to go set trap. He would say, "You know what? You got to go to school.
Oh.
You need to go to school." And so when I tell some people, I was like almost 15 years old when I started ABC.
Oh.
People don't know.
Wow. Look how
And
far you've come. Wow, that's
and
amazing.
and I was like, when I got to know the importance of education, I started to say to myself, you know what? Every semester, every period, I make sure I pass to the next class. I make sure I complete this next step. So the memory of a father, the older my grandfather was the dad to me.
Yeah.
In my own
Definition.
definition, and how can I blame them? My grandfather was a dad to me, because I can tell you nothing used to happen to me. The Omega food, the Omega going anywhere he wants me to go with him. There are
Yeah.
a lot of names he gave me. So
Right.
that was it. But my father was straight to it. You need to go to school. You need to do this. Don't sit down. Do this, and that was it. The little time that we spent together, yes, that was his saying. That was his saying
Right.
to me.
And
And
that got stuck with you till today.
oh no, yes, I can remember. I mean, seriously, had it not been for my father to keep me like that, I mean, I wouldn't have been to where I've seen myself. I found myself in a lot of areas. I wouldn't have to come to those areas or to be to those level. Because my
Nice,
grandfather, I mean, I would have been home now, sitting down and doing different things totally.
nice. And I
Yes.
think I think that's where this whole teach a child that when they grow they
Right.
won't depart from it. I
So,
think I take that really, 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 really to the highest level, because I feel like it teaches you like structures and things like that in life. Um, there are a few things I remember, but specifically the things that I remember when I was growing up, with my oldest brother slash dad, I would say, I really like how he used to like get really. Sometimes he would get silly with us, like we would joke around, we'd be running around, but we knew like he was very, very strict.
mhm.
But whenever we got to see the side of him where he's like, okay, you guys come and comb my hair, you scratch my back, you do my toenails,
That's
like those were really, really good, fond memories that I remember. That I always used to pray that those days comes around more because he was really, really strict. Um, like there was no standing around and be like, why are you standing over there? And then you're like jumping. We were like literally military kids. I feel like we were military kids when we were growing up because and something that I would say that he really instilled in us that to this day I think it had been with me for the longest that I feel like I'm gonna implement to my children as well
yeah.
was something where he said to us, it was like, we always used to ask, can we go sleep over to a friend house, or can we go to our friend's house? And he would be like, no, um, you guys are not allowed to go to anybody's house, you know. And I never really understood why. Um, hey, Anna is here. I
Mhm.
never understood like I was just like, man, we have friends. We can't even go to their house. We can't even go to birthday parties. We can't do all of these things. When I grow up, I can't wait. Anna, I think I added you already.
I know you are already on.
Yeah, you already
Hi
added.
everyone.
Hi.
Sorry for joining late.
No worries. So those things I felt like at that age I didn't really understand the concept of it. But I think as I got older, those were things that took me along when I ended up in the Western world where I was by myself and there were friends of mine that I knew that were going to people's houses, to their friend's house. Some of their friends had they slept there and there were things that happened to them. And because I feel like some of those fond memories of them teaching us you can't sleep to people's houses, you can't just go to anybody's house and eat there, you can't just be doing anything, like those things carry me along that I feel like those are good behaviors to put into your kids because it's not everybody that you call your friends are your friends and you don't know who's at your friend's house
Sure.
that
Sure.
might
Sure.
jeopardize you
Sure.
or your children. So
Right.
that's some of those memories that I remember. And then also what I remember was because among all the kids, I was the oldest. So I was taught to always like think fast, like
Mhm.
my brother, he was the, you're the oldest, Felicia, you gotta be you're the one leading everybody. You hold all the responsibility. And sometimes I just used to be like, but I thought I was the youngest. I don't want to be the one, being in charge of people. But but those are some of those things that I remember. And I remember when he first taught me how to hold the pencil.
Mm-hmm.
This one I will forever remember it because he is not the patient person in the world to teach you how to write.
Wow.
So he, I don't know if you remember this, but I have a way how I hold the pen. And he said the way I hold the pen when I write, it's like chicken scratching. So he wants me to hold the pen with my fingers straight. And whenever I would do it, whenever I would do it, I would get in trouble. So he would say, when I come back, I want to see you holding it. But when he goes, I will go back to the way up to this day. I never learned his way of writing. But those are some of those fun things that I
Yeah.
remember. It wasn't fun at that time, but when I sit and think about it, I'm like, oh, that was so silly, you know. But Anna, welcome to the show. We're about to close up. We're just at the part where we're talking about those, fond memories that we have with our dads or father figures in our lives.
Oh,
Um,
that's nice. Sorry,
what's
I'm
something that
so
stuck
late.
that?
Didn't realize the time had gone by so fast.
Yeah, it's like 10:17. Tomorrow is the working week, you
Yeah.
know.
So
Yeah. So we're about to tie it up. So do you have any fun memories that you would like to share um that you
For
had with your dad?
uh, yeah, I can share one or two.
Okay.
First, I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, especially those that are involved in their children's lives, and those that even brought children into this world without being present in their lives, just that the life that you brought into this world is something good because every child has a great future, and
Yeah.
without you, those children wouldn't be here now.
Yeah.
For those that are really involved in their children's life, thank you for all the sacrifices you make to support the women that are pregnant, your wives, your girlfriends, your fiancés, or whatever, baby mamas. Thank you for all the involvement. It's not easy being a parent. I used to think that being a parent is the easiest thing in the world because my parents breezed through it. When I've actually become a parent, it's the hardest thing. And so, for every father that is involved in their child's life, thank you. Now, going to the memories, I would say when my dad first taught me how to ride a bike, like being a first child, you learn everything, especially like fixing things within the household. I even learned how to, open a sink from my dad, like
Wow.
even changing tires. I know how to change tires from my dad. So those things are memories that, are valuable even in your adult life. So every little thing that your father teaches you will carry you a long way. So that's it.
Nice. Nice.
wow.
Now that you thought about like changing the tires, I remember I used to put the water in the car. I remember when we first got the
I know, right?
I don't know if he's watching, but he used to tell me, Felicia, this is how you check the car oil. When it looks this color, this is what it looks like. And then he would tell me, bring the water. This is where you put this water. To this, I'm gonna tell you guys, that's one thing I did not even remember.
Oh my God. Said
You know,
so you
just last
up to
week I
now
was
it's, I see why your car went out of gas. I
He
see.
used to show me I would do it, and if I don't do it right, he will hold my ears. Are you listening? You paying
Oh my
attention? Look
God.
at this thing, you know. But man, if he's watching his effort, I'm so sorry his effort went in vain.
And you see now, today you are suffering the consequences.
No,
Oh
seriously.
my God.
I tried so hard, but I don't remember. I think I only know where to put the coolant in the car, but like the actual water and the oil, how to add them, I'm sorry, I don't remember, you know. But he was so serious about this. Someday you're gonna be driving. You will need to know how to handle this. And I said, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I always forget. Oh man.
Oh, she got removed. Anna got removed. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe she was back or something.
I
Okay.
think you removed yourself. I don't know what
She's
happened, but
back.
welcome back. Yeah, but when you're growing up, there's so many stuff that happened that's so funny. But I don't remember a lot of the stuff, but he really did. Even to ride a bike, I remember he taught me how to ride a bike. But man, I've grown as I'm sitting here, you guys. I fell, and I don't think I remember how to ride a bike.
Don't
It's sad. I'm
don't
learning how
feel
to ride
don't
the
feel bad about it. There's
I
something they
can
say if
try.
you can you hear me?
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about it. There's something they say when you don't use a skill that you've learned, you lose it. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing. So
I
yeah.
was like, I remember my husband told me, he's like, you're gonna go ride the bike with the kids. I was like, to be honest, I need to learn again. He's like, what? Oh my God.
Uh,
Felicia, I'm gonna send you a picture later. Let me this child.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. Do you have a parting statement? You guys in the comment section, if you want to honor your dads and everybody that's in your life. We just want to say happy Father's Day to you. We appreciate you in all you do. Thank you so much to Peterson for coming and making the show so lively and giving all his wisdom. Really, really appreciate it. I hope my husband's listening. I hope he took some tips from you. He's gonna be like, okay, Father's Day over. Now we back to the regular.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes. Anyway. Yeah. Today that was great. Like I think I was a Sunday ago. I supposed to come and I just missed the time. I
Yeah,
went for some meeting and I came back. I just forgot.
yeah,
Nobody. Yeah. Don't send me the link lately. So
yeah,
yeah. So thank you so much. Like we always say, talking is the best way to go. As you talk it up, you will never know that there is somebody that is being touched by what you said.
yeah,
So whatever you have said, it means well for people. And other people who have no use for what you have said, they will not take it to be serious
yeah,
because there is nothing as such impacting their life. And other
right,
people who are facing certain condition, as they listen to you, whatever you have said, it played a role in their life. So that's it. Fathers are people that you cannot forget about them. Like we said again, no matter what kind of person he is, it's important to know that um, you were you were made out of that person. So
yeah,
he has certain role that he played in your life.
yeah,
And people who cherish you, people who care for you, who get that dad, bond with you, it's important to make them to feel that yes, they are not their effort will not go in vain by the way you act, by the way you do things. That are people who really get into disciplinary action. They will do that in love and in show, giving you direction and make you to be a better person. So indeed, these two sets of people, it's good to play your role the best way. And I want to say that to mothers.
yeah,
Mothers are people who, like you said, they are not just destroyer. They are people who whatever you give to them, they multiply and give back to
um,
you.
yeah,
If you're giving them the goods, they're going to multiply that good and give it to you in abundance. If you give them a little bad attitude, they multiply it, give you a lot of frustration. So mothers, mothers are people who give life and do a lot of things to see. So indeed, you need to recognize that as a father, that whatever I give to my wife, she will give it to me in abundance. So play your role. But mothers need to play a role. Understand that they are Christian mother. There are
Yeah.
characteristics of Christian mother as well. You need to play that role. While you know that the father has that weakness, do not spoil your children or set your children against their father. It does not
Yeah.
make sense. Remember, once upon a time, you were really in love with that person, but there
Right.
was some reason, and I get you people far apart. Don't just feel happy taking that money from him, but you don't want him to talk to his children. Oh yes, there are a lot of mothers who do that. One day cannot pass by that child support, but you don't want for that guy to even say hello to his own children. So these
Yeah.
are not good. And if you keep doing that, I mean, you are teaching your children to do the same thing you are doing. That's the thing. That's the bad side of it. Collecting the child support and refusing to allow your children to speak to their dad. That's the bad side of it. You are indoctrinating them into a life that, look, you know what? Play that. When you're born by your husband and he's not doing well, leave the man, collect child support, and don't even allow him see where the child is. So indeed, we need to do our best. Thank you so much. I can talk plenty, so I don't.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's it.
That's really, really important.
Yeah.
Anna, do you have a parting statement?
Thank you everyone for watching tonight. Just like Mr. Peterson said, do not let your kids not talk to their father. Every child has a role to play in their parent in their child's life. So with whatever, even if you have disputes or issues with your spouse or your partner or your baby father, still let them spend time with your dad. It's not gonna be easy, but you guys have to learn to co-parent. Every parent has a role to play in their child's life, and it also helps with their upbringing. And of course, you want to raise a good man or a good woman in the future. So please remember that your issues with the person shouldn't affect the way you guys raise the kids. Also, continue to be good fathers out there. Every support or help makes a big difference for the mother and the child. Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. I feel like you guys have said everything already. The only thing I can add is um, I don't think any dad should feel discouraged if a mother is being difficult. Continue to play that role that you know the best you can, even if it's, just writing a letter or message to your child, like if they have a phone, or even sending a good morning to the mother and just saying, please let my kids know how much I care about them. Even if she doesn't share it, I would just say continue to do that, because kids definitely need both parents. And like Mr. Peterson said, um it's very, very important for women to know that, like, they play a big role into kids building that relationship with either of them, like mom or dad, and not using the kids as a pawn, because it didn't work. In my opinion, women that do that, they still want the relationship, but they're using the kids as a pawn,
Trump card. A Trump. A Trump.
Leverage.
yeah, as a trap.
A Trump card.
But I know that will jump us into another topic, but I really do deep down feel like if you and someone is done and you have moved on, with yourself separately, it should be easy to just, deal with just you and talking about the kids instead of like saying, you will not see the kids, you will not talk to them. I feel like there's still something there that needs to be fixed. And maybe the dad could play some type of role
Yeah.
into trying to figure out how to mend that or find closure in that moment. But I think overall, I want to say most African men do their best with taking care of their kids. And I just want to applaud them because I think you guys are really doing a good job. And everybody else, I think they are too. But because I'm familiar with African men, so I'm just going to say shout out to all of you guys for holding it down and working those 2 to 3 jobs to make sure you take care of your family because it's not easy to take the whole burden of the family and say I'm gonna handle it, I'm the man.
Yeah.
So just want to say thank you guys and you're appreciated. I know when this day is gone, it's gone, and we've gone back into the quietness of
Yeah.
everything else, and but I hope each and every man enjoys this day and know that every role you play into a child's life is important, like Anna said, and nothing goes unnoticed. Even if it's not now, later it will
Yeah.
be noticed.
Sure. Sure. Mhm.
All right, with that being said, thank you to our viewers and all
Yeah.
our commenters, and we pray that our co-host Andrew feel better and the rest of the panelists. I don't know what they're doing, but we pray that all is well with you guys. And happy Father's Day. Enjoy the rest of the night. And we just want to say thank you. We'll see you next week. Apologize for canceling yesterday, but I could not function being here yesterday. There was so much happening. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank
You guys
you.
have a great week, and hopefully somebody do something amazing for you this week.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
You
Thank
too. Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye. You're welcome. And I
Bye-bye.
promise I will make sure I have gas. I'm
Sure.
not gonna be running. I'm not gonna be running on E and just be like, yeah, I have enough. I can make it.
That's why I asked every. I don't know who gave you that.
All right. You have a
Okay.
great night.
Have a good one.
Bye. All right, guys.